10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hi guys, right, this is a response to Johnny Casual, who was responding in a sort of way to one of my question I was asked in one of my videos a couple of weeks ago, and that is my 5 favourite brands and why. Johnny's given his 5 favourite. They were Seiko, Breitling, Omega, I don't remember. Sorry John, I'm doing this in my car I'm doing this in my car in the same way that he would, and it's really weird because I'm sat in a busy car park, and people keep walking past and they're probably wondering who I'm talking to. And fuck, I thought that car reversing up there was going to hit the Mercedes that's beside me. So right, my 5 favourite brands in no particular order. Right, first and second, the first 2 choices are Rolex and Tudor. I think that they hold that sort of place in the marketplace where Rolex is the start of the sort of proper high-end brands, if you would, and I think Tudor, I personally do believe that Tudor is going to overtake TAG as the sort of benchmark lower mid-tier, you know, the stats sort of starting to sort of mid-tier luxury watch brands. I really think at the sort of prices that Tudor charge, they're going to be pretty much knocking TAG off their perch as the sort of watch of choice, the first sort of luxury watch of choice that a lot of people buy. I mean, I'd certainly buy a lot of Tudors before I bought a Breitling. I know that's not a popular choice, and I also think that maybe Omega need to watch themselves as well, because you know, all Rolex have to do, or Tudor have to do, is expand the range a little bit, and they could be taking some serious market away from the likes of Omega, or even Rolex to that degree. And then of course there is the parent company of Rolex itself, and Rolex are just a total, they're a brand apart, they really are. I mean, they have these timeless designs, majority of their lineup are iconic, and they are the single most recognizable watch brand, and for ultimately, whatever you do, however far you want to look away from Rolex, you end up coming back round to them. Anything you may have will always be compared to a Rolex of sorts. You can say, well, you know, the Planet Ocean, whatever, is the best diver, but it will always be compared to a Sea Dweller or a Submariner of sorts, and so on and so forth. Any dress watch you get is going to be compared to a Datejust, and or an Oyster Perpetual. You know, that sort of thing. They're always there. They've always got something in every sector for everybody. In the same way that if you're into watches, you can't ignore Rolex. You have to appreciate them even if you don't like them. In the same way that if you're into cars, you have to appreciate Porsche without not necessarily liking them. Right, so that's Rolex, Tudor. JLC, Jaeger-LeCoultre, is my 3rd top 5 pick. And yeah, I like them. I think that when I look at JLC, I actually, to a certain degree, see value for money, because you're talking high-end horology here at Rolex prices. And, you know, indeed, I said this months ago now, you can buy a mechanical Jaeger-LeCoultre, brand spanking new from an authorised dealer for 5,000 quid, with a handwound movement in it that is, you know, totally and utterly properly in-house. And from the same authorised dealer, you can buy a TAG Heuer with an ETA base movement for less than £1,000 less. If that was me, I'd be stretching a little bit extra and buying the JLC. Yeah, you know, decent level of horology for the price, decent history. They do their own thing, you know. And I like them. I just like the timeless designs. I mean, the Reverso is just a classic design, the same way that the Submariner is a classic design. And yeah, that's sort of my high-end horology pick. My next choice is Zennith. And ArchieLuxury said a thing the other week. ArchieLuxury said that Omega are where Zennith should be in the marketplace. They should be in that sort of, you know, kind of chasing Rolex and being compared to Rolex. And the thing is this, is Zennith haven't branded themselves or marketed themselves very strongly, because I think it's because they're a standalone company and they're not part of a big conglomerate. And but they are, again, a very good level of horology. And we're talking sort of, you know, Rolex Omega prices. I mean, I would have a, you know, if I had to pick a chronograph and I had the choice of sort of, what, 4.5, 5K on a fucking Planet Ocean chronograph, or a Seamaster chronograph, or a Zennith El Primero, I'd have the Zennith. Yeah, of course I would. I mean, in a heartbeat, I'd have a Zennith. And I do actually particularly like the Felix Baumgartner one, which is the El Primero chronograph with the, like a diver's bezel. I saw that. That looked quite smart. So that would be my fourth choice. And fifth choice is probably not much of a surprise to you. It's Seiko. I mean, if there was only one watchmaker in the world, you had to choose to get rid of all the other watchmakers and say, right, have a watchmaker, it'd be Seiko, because they make, as I think Johnny himself said, a watch for absolutely everybody, from, you know, £50 up to 20,000, £30,000 with some of the sort of top end Credo or Grand Seikos that they do. And again, in-house, everything's a decent level of horology, especially when you start getting the Grand Seikos. And they just do it in a very efficient Japanese way that is completely and utterly unpretentious. And if I'm being totally honest with you, right, after buying the SKX 007 Seiko Divers watch a couple of months ago, it has, to a certain degree, made me regret buying the Bremont. Because I love that Seiko diver, and I'll tell you this now, I could quite happily have a collection with 5-6 Seikos on it. But there you are. So there's a bit of a confession for you as well. Right, that is it. So that's the one. That's me. It's my top 5 brands: Rolex, JOC, Zennith, Seiko, and Tudor. Now, a little question for you, Johnny. Right, if you had to pick two brands, only two brands that you could have, right, but they weren't in your top 5. Those are the top 5 that you had. If you had to buy, okay, let's put it this way. If you had to buy two brands of watches that you've never bought before, what would they be? There you go, John. There's a wee question for you. Okay, guys, right, Jerry.